Welcome to my review of the LEGO Star Wars 2025 Buildable Character Chopper. Definitely feels like they've been doing a lot of these lately. It's set number 75416 with 1,039 pieces. Its retail price is $100 even, putting it on par with R2-D2 from 2024. So that'll be a good comp for value on this one later in the review. The box art is particularly beautiful on this set. I think it really helps sell Chopper to me, and it uses that Ahsoka key art. So this is an Ahsoka set, not a Rebel set for Chopper. The back of the box, of course, shows off your two main features or functions of Chopper, as well as him just sitting in a hangar. And as we cut into the box, I was very surprised to find a sticker sheet that was kind of ripped on the edges, just very abnormal, so I thought I had to share it with you. You've also got 7 numbered bags and an instruction manual, inside of which is a nice shot of Chopper in universe versus the Lego Chopper, and it's pretty spot on. It really is super accurate. There's one thing about this Chopper, though, that is kind of crazy inaccurate, and we'll get to that later in the review. Now, you might remember on the front of the box, it had this build together 1 to 4 builders thing. You might have assumed there were 4 instruction manuals. There's not. You have to scan some QR code and use your iPads to build it. So they're really trying to get everyone to use those iPads to build your Lego sets so they can get rid of paper instructions, but it won't work on me here. I'm using the paper. So anyway, taking a look at the Chopper minifig here, I've got him side by side with the 2023 version from the Ghost and Phantom 2, and they appear to be exactly the same as far as I can tell. So it's the same great Chopper astromech droid here, front and back printing. It's awesome that they give this one back printing. It's the only other astromech droid as of now, other than R2-D2, that has been getting back printing. You've even got the little dish on top of his head represented with a stud, which I just think is that awesome little extra detail that helps kind of bring this Chopper minifig to life. Overall, extremely detailed figure, and it looks great, and it's going to look great on display because it comes with the display plaque and stand thing for your minifig, so you can put Chopper right there, and he will fit on very nicely next to the display plaque. It's printed, looks great. It's got a bunch of detail about Chopper. It's also got the, of course, blue version of Chopper there. And then the weird thing they did with this set is on the back of it, they put a couple of orange bricks. And I'm very confused by that. They haven't done this with previous LEGO Star Wars buildable characters. I thought maybe it was to get the piece count to 1,039 because it's some special number, and I Googled it and didn't find anything. So I'm a little bit confused why they just put 2 orange bricks on the back here. Otherwise, the stand is wonderful, and it's going to accompany your Chopper on display perfectly, like all of the other buildable characters' stands in their displays have in the past. So with the Chopper here, look at that, just a wonderful display. And I think it's time to go in depth on Chopper here. There's a lot to unpack. So I've got to start us off with what I think is the best play feature for Chopper here, and that's when he's talking to you, he can actually shake his head back and forth. It's really cute, it's very fun, and you don't actually have to use your hand, at least on his head, to make the function work. On his back, there is this piece here, and all of this is attached to some very intricate interior work, in my opinion. You can see here from the build process what that looked like, but you can actually just grab onto this. I suggest grabbing it, not like pushing on it, because you're not going to get the best result doing that. Like, you can push it, but it's just not as good. You kind of grab at it, and then you shake it back and forth. And this is what it looks like when it's facing you when you're doing that. So it's a really cute, cool feature. Can't believe they were able to integrate something like that. I am very amazed by a lot of these buildable characters and the functions that they're able to hide inside while still having a very accurate look. On the very top of his head, you may have noticed the radar dish, and I think this is great. It looks nice. It's very simple yet effective, and it can actually be rotated, so you can put it down at a bit of an angle and you can spin it to whichever angle you like it to point at. So I like that you get to decide how he looks on display a little bit there with the radar dish. Definitely a nice simple feature, not something that breaks off super easily. It can come off, but I think it's going to be sturdy enough for most use cases. Certainly, like as an adult collector, it's good enough. Maybe some rough play from like a kid, going to be a different story. Looking below that, you've got his head. It can rotate 360 degrees. It's very strong, so you'll see as I push on it, none of the panels or anything are breaking, which is obviously what you're going to want to see there. You can see a couple gaps here. We'll come back to that because I first want to talk about his face and what I find to be the biggest inaccuracy on the entire model, and it's quite a silly one at that, but this little yellow 1x1 tile above his right eye, I don't know if these are all 3 eyes or different sensors, whatever. This 1x1 tile should be orange. You can see it in that picture in the instruction manual that this area above should be orange, and it's very odd that it's not because it's such a simple simple thing. I just think they messed it up somewhere, somehow. Someone got mixed up. I don't know. It's frankly one of the simplest fixes you'll ever have for an inaccuracy in a Lego Star Wars set. You know, you can see that's just plainly more accurate, but it's one of those weird things, like how do you get that wrong, or why would you get that wrong? It's just so simple to have right. Obviously, I review the sets as they come, not as you can modify them, so to me it is still going to be a small ding against this set, but it's a fairly insignificant one because of how easy it is to change, given you'll probably have an extra 1x1 orange tile already in the set included. There's a little sticker here adding more detail with a orange dot or square down there. But yeah, I want to talk about what these blank spots are for. You'd be surprised. It's for his arms. Look at that. Very cool. So these you can attach in, and on the back of the box, this is how it shows you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to attach them in afterwards, and they are supposed to be removable, but I don't quite agree with the way that they have done it, or at least the way that you are propositioned to do it on the back of the box, because it kind of infers that the arms are very easy to take out once you've put them in, and that's not the case. You will end up breaking this thing. Obviously, you could just pull this out, and I think leaving the ball joint piece in makes the most sense, but on the back of the box, when you go to put these in, it shows the ball joint being part of this. So it doesn't work, I think, 110% as intended, but I also think you should just display it like this, and the actual like functionality of them being removable doesn't really matter at that point. You know, this is how I'm definitely going to display mine, and the arms are really good. They have a lot of posability to them, so you're going to be able to bring your chopper really to life here however you like. You can move these arms in so many different directions. It's actually insane here. So you can make him wave at you, and I feel like the default for choppers just have him up like he's excited or something, but you can of course drop them down. I think it looks worse like that, but it's really great. The arms are a great inclusion here. The only downside, like I said, is trying to remove them as it shows on the back of the box. You can just remove them easily like that, and then you're just left with that one piece there, which I don't think is a big deal. But if you want to actually remove that piece, again, like it shows on the back of the box, it's a bit more intensive than you would imagine. Overall, though, my only real gripe with the head design is that 1x1 tile. Such an easy fix, but they obviously just missed it. Hopefully it's something they can just change in future iterations of the set, because it's just that simple in my opinion. But yeah, the head is nice. It works well, spins just as easy as you would like, and it is, you know, slightly movable by hand because of the function that you have underneath. But again, you're supposed to use that piece on the back to do that, so it's fun stuff. The torso features many stickers for its detail, so unfortunately no prints here, but I do think all of the sticker detailing is accurate, and it looks nice enough. There's no massive miscolored stickers in this particular area of the set. You do have the one retractable arm that is hidden in the body there, so that can be pulled out and used as you'd like, and then you can push it back in. It feels like it's built very strongly, so shouldn't have to worry about breaking too much there. It's great. And yeah, overall, very nicely detailed. My favorite part is probably the black hot dog piece inside of Chopper there being used for some of the wiring detail. I don't know if that's the first time they've ever used a black hot dog piece, but either way, it's a really cool use for that part. Moving down to the legs, I just love how rounded off what is effectively the shoulder area on the Astromech droid is. Just looks super clean on this side, and quite the opposite on the other side, and accurately so. It's a little more blocky feeling on this side. So I love that they accurately represented that. Looks nice. You got the gray on one side, the white on the other, at least predominantly. And then the issue with the legs really is going to be the sticker down here. It's a pretty obvious miscolor. Not sure how well it translates on camera, but certainly in person, the gray does not match the gray, and it is not too pretty. Anyway, on a more positive note, the overall foot design is just wonderful, and they're using that black Indiana Jones whip piece here for some of the wiring, which is another great part usage. Now, as I lift him up, you'll notice you can get a little bit of ankle movement, and that's because it's really made to move the legs back, and so he can be in that forward rolling motion. He's missing his extra wheel. Now, he can kind of sit like that, but the extra wheel is included. It's a really good design, really nice, looks great, and as we look to the bottom of him, obviously, you're not going to find that third wheel hidden inside of him. It's not something that's retractable. It is like an additional piece, much like the arms above, and so you just line it up with the hole at the bottom, slot it in, and it is good to go. It works really well, rolls nicely. Now, He doesn't have wheels on the bottom of him, and actually, surprisingly, no inverted tiles either. A lot of time they'll put inverted tiles on the bottom of something like this. I'm actually kind of curious why they didn't do that here, because that's very much been the standard for Lego for a long time, because they kind of move a little bit better on surfaces, but they went with just the bottom of some plates there. I think like maybe the design shape looks nice, and maybe that's why. I don't know. But anyway, the wheel is there, and so now he can theoretically be rolled around. But yeah, I look at it more of like, that's just how I want to display it, so that's how I'll put it. But otherwise, I don't like see it as a killer function. I think that's everything you could want to see on Chopper himself. So now I got to show you him compared to his closest Lego cousin, the $100 R2 there. I think this is obviously a great pairing of Lego sets. I think Chopper's in a really good scale next to R2-D2 here, but I do feel like this really exposes the fact that Lego has overpriced this Chopper set relative to R2-D2. It's very close on the piece count, but the size is clearly not there. And remember, R2 did include an extra minifig in the 25th anniversary Darth Malik, and so Chopper doesn't include an extra minifig, yet it's the same price, and Chopper also weighs about 10% less, so you are getting less with Chopper. So as much as I love the Chopper, and I think it's nearly a perfect Lego Star Wars set, it's obviously very fun and lively, and a lot of people have been waiting a long time for this, it's tough to say go spend $100 on it. I think you have to wait for it to go on sale, otherwise you're doing yourself a disservice. It's just too expensive for what you're getting. But anyway, let me know what you think about Chopper in the comments section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and you can check out more of my Lego Star Wars 2025 set reviews on the end screen now.